My dear friends, life becomes truly meaningful when we dare to dream, and even more meaningful when we believe in those dreams. A dream is not just a fancy imagination. It is a seed planted by destiny inside your heart. When a woman believes in her dreams, she does not just change her life, she changes the world around her. But the challenge is this: society may discourage, circumstances may resist, people may doubt, and failures may come. Yet, the most important factor is whether you believe in your dream. Because belief gives birth to courage, courage fuels perseverance, and perseverance transforms a dream into reality. Dreams are the language of your heart, not the opinions of others. When you close your eyes and imagine a future that excites you, that image does not come from society, from neighbors, or from critics. It comes from within you. The heart whispers possibilities long before the world recognizes them. But what often happens is that the voices outside become louder than the voice within. People will tell you what you should do, what is practical, what is safe, and what they think you are capable of. And slowly, if you are not careful, you begin to silence the soft whisper of your own dream and replace it with the noise of other people's expectations. Think of it this way: when a seed is planted in the ground, no one else sees what fruit it can produce. If it is an apple seed, you may not be able to convince everyone around you that one day this small seed will become a tall tree with sweet fruit. Some will laugh, some will say it's impossible, some will say it's too small to matter. But the seed does not listen. It grows quietly, nourished by the soil, sunlight, and water. In the same way, your dream is a seed inside your heart. Others may not understand it because they don't carry it. You do. Often, women especially face this challenge. From a young age, they are told what roles to play, how far they can go, and what dreams are acceptable. If a woman dares to dream beyond the limits set by tradition or society, she may be labeled unrealistic, rebellious, or impractical. But history shows us something very clear. Every woman who chose to follow the language of her heart, instead of the noise of society, left behind a legacy. Whether it was in art, in science, in leadership, or in raising a family with extraordinary values, the ones who listened to their inner calling transformed lives. The heart never speaks in the language of fear, it speaks in the language of hope. It does not say, "What if you fail?" It says, "What if you succeed?" It does not ask, "What will people say?" It asks, "What do you truly want?" The heart gives you pictures of what is possible. But it requires courage to trust those pictures. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward even when fear is present. Imagine if every great woman in history had stopped at the first criticism. Imagine if they had surrendered to the opinions of others. We would have no stories of inspiration, no breakthroughs, no progress. The truth is, your dream was not given to everyone, it was given to you. That is why only you can feel its power fully. Others may not see the path, but you can sense it. And if you do not follow it, a part of you always feels incomplete. Your dream does not need approval. It needs commitment. It does not need applause. It needs belief. The opinions of others may come and go, but the voice of your heart stays with you for a lifetime. If you ignore it, it will trouble you with regret. If you honor it, it will reward you with fulfillment. So whenever you stand at the crossroads of choice, ask yourself, am I listening to the language of my heart? Or am I surrendering to the noise of other people's opinions? Because in the end, the world will adjust. They may doubt you at first, but once you succeed, the same people who questioned you will celebrate you. The difference lies in whether you had the courage to listen to your heart when no one else could hear its song. And that, my friends, is the beginning of every true dream becoming a reality. When you believe in your dreams, you give permission to others to believe in theirs too. Human beings are inspired less by lectures and more by living examples. When someone sees a person courageously pursuing their vision despite challenges, doubts, and resistance, it lights a spark in their own heart. Especially for women, believing in your dream is not just about you. It is about setting a precedent for everyone who watches you. Your children, your siblings, your friends, your colleagues, even strangers who cross paths with your story. Your courage becomes contagious. Think of a candle in a dark room. One candle may seem small, but when it is lit, it not only dispels darkness around itself, it also has the power to light up another candle, and that candle lights another, and soon the room that was once engulfed in darkness glows with brilliance. This is exactly how belief in your dream works. When you pursue your calling, you silently tell others, if I can, so can you. Your single act of faith becomes a movement of courage for many. There are countless stories of women who believed in their dreams and unknowingly opened doors for others. When the first woman stepped into a university classroom where no woman had studied before, she did not just fulfill her personal dream of learning. She made education possible for generations of women after her. When the first woman started her business in an environment where society doubted her ability, she didn't just build her own career. She gave courage to countless other women to step into entrepreneurship. When the first mother told her daughter, follow your passion, not just tradition, she broke a chain of limitation that had lasted for centuries. This is the silent revolution that happens when one person dares to believe. But it is not easy. Sometimes believing in your dream feels lonely. People may laugh, discourage, or doubt you. You may feel as if no one understands. Yet, in that very moment, remember that your strength is not just about your own success. It is also about the hope it gives to those who watch you. A woman who keeps moving despite resistance becomes a role model for those who are too scared to start. Her belief tells others that dreams are not foolishness, but fuel for progress. Children, in particular, learn more by observation than instruction. A daughter who watches her mother chase her dream grows up believing she can do the same. A son who sees his mother standing strong learns to respect women who follow their passions. Generations are shaped by what you choose to believe in today. That is why your courage is not just personal, it is generational. Believing in your dream is not arrogance, it is responsibility. Because by doing so, you carry the power to inspire communities. Many women think, I am too ordinary. My dream is too small, but no dream is ever small when it carries the potential to awaken others. Even if your dream is to live with dignity, raise good children, or serve in your local community, it still matters. Because someone is always watching, someone is always learning, someone is always drawing strength from your journey. So, when you believe in your dreams, remember that you are not walking alone. You are walking for every silent dreamer who wishes they could walk too. Your belief becomes their permission slip, your courage becomes their invitation, and your journey becomes their map. This is the unseen gift you give to the world. Not just chasing your dream, but igniting countless others along the way. Dreams demand patience. They are not instant noodles. They are like trees that need time to grow. In today's world, we live in a culture of speed. We want instant results, quick success, and immediate recognition. But dreams do not work like that. A dream is like planting a seed in the soil. You cannot expect it to bear fruit the next morning. You must water it daily, protect it from storms, nurture it with care, and wait for nature to do its work. In the same way, your dreams take time to mature, and only patience allows them to unfold into reality. The biggest mistake people make is confusing speed with success. Just because something happens quickly does not mean it lasts. Look at a soap bubble. It shines beautifully for a few seconds, but bursts almost instantly. On the other hand, consider a diamond. It takes years of pressure, heat, and time before it becomes strong and unbreakable. Dreams are not soap bubbles. They are diamonds in the making. If you rush them, they break. If you allow them time, they shine forever. Many women start pursuing their dreams with enthusiasm, but the moment challenges come or results are delayed, they begin to doubt. They wonder, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe this dream is not for me. But the truth is, the dream is still in its seed stage. You cannot dig it up just because you do not see the fruit yet. Patience is the silent strength that keeps you watering your dream even when there is no visible sign of growth. It is the ability to trust the process even when the results are hidden. Consider the story of a bamboo tree. For the first few years after planting, you may not see much happening above the ground. It looks like nothing is growing. But beneath the soil, the roots are spreading deep, building a foundation to support its future height. And then, in just a short period, the bamboo shoots up rapidly, sometimes growing several feet in weeks. That's how dreams work too. The silent years of effort, learning, and resilience are the root building stage. When the right time comes, Your dream will rise higher than you ever imagined. But without patience, you would have abandoned it long before. Patience also teaches humility. It reminds you that great things cannot be forced. They must be allowed to blossom naturally. A flower blooms in its own season, no matter how much you pull at the petals. You cannot make it bloom faster. Similarly, your dreams have a timeline. Some dreams manifest sooner. Others take years, but both require trust in timing. Life knows when you are ready, and patience ensures that when the moment arrives, you are strong enough to handle it. In fact, the waiting period is not wasted. It is preparation. While you wait, you learn, you grow, you build skills, you develop resilience, you strengthen your character. The waiting time is shaping you into the person who can carry the weight of your dream when it arrives. Because sometimes the dream is ready, but you are not. Patience bridges that gap. So, do not measure your dream by how fast it happens. Measure it by how much you are willing to stay committed while waiting. Remember, fast food may satisfy you quickly, but harms you in the long run, while a slow, cooked meal nourishes deeply and lasts. Your dream, like that slow, cooked meal, needs time. Patience is not passive, it is active faith. It is the daily choice to keep moving forward, to keep nurturing, to keep believing, knowing that when the time is right, your dream will stand tall like a tree that cannot be ignored. Obstacles are not stop signs. They are stepping stones towards your dream. Whenever a woman decides to follow her heart and chase a dream, she should never expect the road to be smooth. Life is designed in such a way that challenges are inevitable. They appear not to stop you, but to shape you. Yet most people, the moment they face a hurdle, interpret it as a signal to give up. But in truth, every obstacle is a hidden lesson, every delay is silent training, and every failure is a disguised opportunity to grow stronger for the journey ahead. Think of a mountain climber. She does not reach the peak in one leap. She has to deal with sharp rocks, slippery slopes, harsh winds, and fatigue. If she gave up at the first rock blocking her way, she would never experience the breathtaking view from the top. The very rocks that slow her down are the same rocks that help her climb higher. Without them, there would be no foothold, no grip, no way to rise. In the same way, your obstacles are not meant to paralyze you, they are meant to elevate you. Many women mistake obstacles for rejection, thinking, maybe this dream is not meant for me. But if every difficulty was a reason to quit, no one would ever achieve anything worthwhile. Imagine if a baby gave up on walking after falling a few times. Imagine if a writer stopped writing because her first book did not sell. Imagine if an entrepreneur shut down her vision after one financial setback. We would have no progress, no innovation, no inspiration. Obstacles test whether your desire is real or temporary. They ask, how much do you truly want this? In fact, obstacles are like mirrors that reflect your weaknesses, giving you the chance to strengthen them. If you encounter rejection, it teaches resilience. If you face criticism, It teaches humility. If you run into delays, they teach patience. Each difficulty carries within it a skill that you will need when your dream finally comes true. Without those lessons, you may not be prepared to handle success. Consider the story of inventors and pioneers. They faced countless failures before achieving breakthroughs. But had they treated obstacles as stop signs, humanity would never have benefited from their discoveries. The truth is, the people who reach their dreams are not always the most talented or the most intelligent, but the ones who refuse to interpret obstacles as endings. They saw them as stepping stones, necessary parts of the journey. For women, obstacles often appear in the form of societal doubt, lack of support, or personal responsibilities. It is easy to feel overwhelmed, to believe the dream is out of reach. But every time you overcome one such challenge, you do not just move closer to your dream. You also create a path for others to follow. You prove that courage is stronger than circumstance. Even nature teaches us this. A river flows smoothly only until it meets a rock. Does it stop? No, it flows around it, over it, or through it, carving its own way forward. And over time, the very rock that looked immovable is shaped by the persistence of the water. Your journey is no different. Obstacles may look permanent, but your steady belief and effort can reshape them into stepping stones. So whenever you encounter resistance, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Each challenge is preparing you for the next level of your dream. Without them, the story of your success would have no depth, no inspiration. And remember, the dream that comes without struggle is often too fragile to last. The dream that survives obstacles, however, becomes unshakable because it was built on lessons learned, courage earned, and strength discovered along the way. Every big change in history began with a single person who dared to dream. If we study the lives of great reformers, leaders, artists, and thinkers, we notice something striking. They were ordinary human beings, but what set them apart was their extraordinary courage to hold on to a vision that others often dismissed. They were not always the strongest, the richest, or the most powerful. They were simply individuals who allowed a dream to grow inside them until it became larger than their fears. That single dream then turned into a ripple that reshaped entire societies. Think of pioneers in education, for example. Long ago, when it was unthinkable for women to enter classrooms, one woman dared to imagine a world where girls could learn alongside boys. That dream looked impossible, laughable even to many around her, yet she refused to abandon it. Today, because of that seed of courage, millions of young women across the world enjoy the gift of education. A single dream not only changed her life, it altered the destiny of generations. Dreams are like matches. One spark can ignite a fire that lights up countless lives. History is filled with examples of individuals who faced ridicule for dreaming differently. Artists who were told their ideas were useless, inventors who were mocked for impossible experiments, women who were silenced when they spoke of equality, yet the very dreams that others resisted became the foundation of progress. What was once called foolish became the wisdom of the future. That is the power of one person daring to dream. For women especially, this lesson carries profound weight. Many times, society teaches women to shrink their desires, to settle for less, to avoid standing out. But when even one woman chooses to challenge that narrative, she opens doors for thousands more. Her dream becomes not just her personal mission, but a collective awakening. She becomes proof that it is possible. And once the impossible is proven possible, no one can deny it again. Every revolution, whether in thought, technology, or culture, begins in silence, in the mind of one person. A dream starts as an invisible idea. At first, it has no form, no recognition, no support. But the one who dares to nurture it breathes life into it through persistence, faith, and action. Over time, what was once unseen becomes undeniable. People may initially reject it, but eventually they embrace it because it carries the undeniable fragrance of truth and necessity. The world does not change because a crowd decides to dream together. It changes because one heart beats with conviction and refuses to give up. Others then gather around that conviction, and slowly, what began with one person becomes a movement. If you study any great change, whether in civil rights, education, science, or even within families, you will always trace it back to one dreamer who chose not to bow down to fear. That is why your dream matters. You may think it is small, personal, or insignificant, but who knows how far its impact can travel. A woman who decides to follow her passion for teaching may inspire students who go on to transform entire communities. A woman who starts a small business may become a role model for financial independence in her village. A mother who dares to raise her children with new values may end up shaping a generation of leaders. The scale of the dream is not measured by how it begins, but by how it grows once it is lived. So remember, every great story in history began with one person who dared to say, "What if?" And that one question changed everything. If you have a dream, do not underestimate it. Because tomorrow's history may be written from the courage you show today. Your dream may look small to others, but it can carry enormous power for you. The world often measures the worth of a dream by its visibility, its popularity, or its scale. If it looks glamorous, people clap. If it looks simple or personal, people dismiss it as insignificant. But the true value of a dream is not determined by the eyes of others. It is determined by the heart that carries it. What looks small on the outside can be the very thing that shapes your life from the inside. Think of a tiny key. To a casual observer, it may look like an ordinary piece of metal, not worth much attention. But for the person who owns it, that tiny key may open the door to a house, a treasure chest, or a place of safety. Its value is not in its size, but in what it unlocks. Similarly, your dream may appear too small to the world, but to you, It may be the very key that unlocks your potential, your fulfillment, and your purpose. Sometimes women hesitate to share their dreams because they fear they will be laughed at. Someone who dreams of starting a small bakery may hear, "Why not aim for something bigger?" Someone who dreams of raising good children may be told, "That's too ordinary. Don't you want something more ambitious?" But here lies the truth. No dream is ordinary when it aligns with your soul. A bakery can feed not just stomachs but hearts, creating moments of joy in families. Raising good children can influence society for decades, shaping the next leaders, thinkers, and visionaries. What seems small to one person can be monumental to another. We must also remember that what begins small does not always stay small. A mighty river begins as a trickle from a mountain. A great oak tree begins as an acorn. Even the most inspiring movements in history started with just one voice, one thought, one step. The greatness of a dream lies not in its beginning, but in the perseverance that follows it. What appears tiny today may one day grow into something far larger than you ever imagined. But even if your dream remains personal and private, it still has immense value. Not every dream is meant to be broadcasted on a global stage. Some dreams exist to bring peace, healing, and joy to the individual who carries them. A woman who dreams of learning to paint may never hold an exhibition, but the act of painting could heal her, give her joy, and make her a more loving person to those around her. Is that dream small? Not at all. It carries power that cannot be measured in applause or numbers. The world often tries to impose its scale of success on your vision. It will say, bigger is better, louder is stronger, popular is valuable. But the truth is, your dream's worth comes from the meaning it holds for you, not from the size others assign to it. What matters is whether it makes your heart come alive, whether it brings purpose to your days, whether it fills your soul with peace. So never dismiss a dream because it doesn't look impressive to others. A single candle may not light an entire city, but it can brighten one person's darkness. And sometimes that is enough. Your dream, no matter how small it appears, can give you direction, fulfillment, and joy. And in giving you that, it carries an enormous power. Because a woman who feels alive, purposeful, and fulfilled becomes a force of inspiration, whether she realizes it or not. Faith in your dream makes you stronger than fear of failure. Every person who sets out on a meaningful journey encounters fear. Fear whispers, what if you fall? What if people laugh? What if you waste your time? These questions echo in the minds of dreamers more loudly than encouragement ever does. But the deciding factor between those who quit and those who continue is not the absence of fear. It is the presence of faith. Faith does not silence fear, but it makes you louder than fear. Imagine walking on a rope bridge stretched across a deep valley. Fear will naturally creep in. Your legs may shake, your palms may sweat, and your mind may imagine every possibility of falling. But if you believe that the bridge is strong, if you trust that step by step it will hold you, then your faith will push you to cross despite trembling. That is what faith in your dream does. It doesn't erase fear, but it gives you strength to move forward anyway. Many women abandon their dreams because of fear of failure. They think, what if I try and it doesn't work? But the real question is, what if I never try and live with regret? Failure is temporary, but regret is permanent. Fear paralyzes, faith energizes. And only one of them deserves to guide your decisions. When faith is alive in your heart, it becomes a shield against the arrows of doubt and a lamp in the fog of uncertainty. Faith also creates resilience. Think of inventors who failed dozens of times before success. If they had trusted fear more than faith, we would not have electricity, phones, airplanes, or medicine. Their failures did not define them, their faith did. Every setback became a stepping stone because their belief was stronger than their fear. In the same way, when your dream is backed by faith, you begin to see failures not as endings, but as lessons disguised as detours. Fear often exaggerates. It paints the worst case scenario and convinces you it is inevitable. But faith balances that picture. It reminds you that there is also a best case scenario, and you will never know it unless you try. A woman with faith in her dream becomes unshakable because even when fear knocks at her door, she answers with hope. She may still feel anxious, but she refuses to be controlled by it. It is important to understand that faith does not mean blind optimism. It means believing that your dream has meaning, that your effort has value, and that even if things don't unfold as expected, the journey itself will shape you in ways worth pursuing. Faith is not a guarantee of success, but it is a guarantee of strength. And sometimes, strength is what carries you through the very storms that fear warned you about. Think about a small bird learning to fly. The first jump from the nest is terrifying. Fear says, you will fall. But faith whispers, you were born with wings. And as the bird leaps, even if it stumbles at first, eventually it realizes the wings were there all along. That is the essence of faith in your dream. It reminds you of the wings you already carry. So when fear of failure surrounds you, let faith rise louder. Let it tell you that your dream is worth the risk, worth the effort, worth the leap. Because even if you fall, faith will teach you how to rise again. And every time you rise, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than fear ever claimed you to be. Dreams backed by effort attract opportunities, just as flowers attract bees. A dream on its own is a beautiful vision, but without action it remains only a picture in the mind. Effort is what gives substance to imagination, and consistent effort creates momentum that begins to draw people, resources, and chances into your life. The universe, in its own way, responds to those who refuse to sit idle and instead take steps, however small, toward their vision. Just as bees are drawn not to flowers, still hidden in the bud, but to those that open up and release their fragrance, opportunities are drawn to those who actively nurture their dreams. Many people believe that if they simply wish hard enough, their dream will magically appear. But wishing without working is like planting seeds and never watering them. The soil may be fertile, the weather may be favorable, but without effort, nothing will grow. When you consistently show up for your dream, when you invest your energy, time, and dedication, you begin to emit the fragrance of commitment. And that fragrance is what opportunities recognize. It is what makes mentors notice you, what attracts collaborators, what opens unexpected doors. Think about students preparing for an exam. A student who dreams of success but spends all her time daydreaming will gain nothing. But the one who burns the midnight oil, who studies page after page, who prepares diligently, suddenly finds that when the exam day comes, she is ready. Her effort has aligned her with the opportunity to perform. In the same way, when you put in work for your dream, opportunities appear not by accident, but because you have made yourself ready to receive them. Life has an interesting rhythm. It rarely hands over opportunities to those who wait passively. Instead, it tests whether you are serious by observing how much effort you put in without immediate results. That unseen effort becomes the magnet for future chances. A woman who dreams of becoming an artist and paints every day, even when no one notices her work, will one day be discovered. A woman who dreams of starting a business and takes small steps daily, researching, learning, networking, will eventually meet the right person or stumble upon the right moment that changes everything. Opportunities come to the doors, not the dreamers who stop at wishing. There is also a psychological truth in this. When you put in effort, you build confidence. And confidence itself attracts opportunities. People trust those who trust themselves. If you are consistently showing your dedication, others naturally want to support you. Just as flowers do not chase bees, but bees still find them, effort creates an aura that naturally draws support. It is also important to remember that effort does not mean grand gestures every day. Even small, steady actions accumulate. One drop of water may look insignificant, but when it falls on the same stone day after day, it eventually leaves a mark. Similarly, your small but consistent efforts, though unnoticed at first, carve out pathways for opportunities to flow toward you. Opportunities are not always obvious. Sometimes they come disguised as challenges or extra work. But the person who is already in motion, already giving her best, is the one who recognizes them. Effort sharpens your vision. It makes you alert, prepared, and resilient. And when an opportunity arrives, you are not caught off guard. You are ready to seize it. So a dream must be like a flower, planted with hope, nurtured with persistence, opened with courage, and kept alive with effort. When it blossoms, opportunities naturally find their way to it. The fragrance of dedication can travel farther than you imagine. And it will always attract the bees of chance, growth, and success.